Hey girl, today we're going to be talking about our nervous systems. I want to break down for you how and why your nervous system is so critical in your manifestation journey. And then I'm also going to give you some tools on how you can on how you can regulate your nervous system when you're out and about in your daily life. If this is your first time visiting my channel, hello, my name is Tatiana Barlow. Here we talk about all things wellness, metaphysical, and aligned living. I want to start with talking about vibration, because at the bare bones of everything, at the base of everything is a vibration. We already know this is heavily supported by physics. Atomic particles are constantly moving, they're constantly in motion. If you zoom in enough on anything, you will see that everything is vibrating. So this means everything in your body, everything around you, everything in your space produces a vibration. Your emotions and your beliefs influence your vibration. Your nervous system influences your vibration. Your nervous system is really what is emitting your vibration, and it is heavily influenced by your state of mind, being, thoughts, and what you're thinking on a day-to-day basis. We're able to see this in our day-to-day life where if you have an emotion such as anger or excitement or fear or sadness, that directly influences your physical state, the physical biological state that your body is in. And we've seen how beliefs influence our nervous system by the placebo effect. When you believe something is going to hurt, or you believe that an outcome is going to be expected, your nervous system will be more or less sensitive to that depending on what you currently believe about that. And so knowing that allows us to know that certain beliefs and certain emotional states will trigger fight or flight in our bodies, and certain beliefs and emotional states will trigger rest and digest in our bodies. Those are the two main modes that our nervous system has. One where it is in survival mode, and one where it feels safe and restful and able to perform the biological and mental processes that it's already trying to do. Neither one of these states of our nervous system is bad. Fight or flight is not bad. It's critical for our safety and our well-being when we're out in day-to-day life. But what we don't want is to constantly be in a fight or flight state and constantly emitting this vibration of fear and emitting this vibration of survival. Our nervous system impacts every single thing in our bodies. Everything. For your voluntary movements, your voluntary contractions, your voluntary swallowing, your voluntary breathing, and your involuntary actions such as homeostasis and digesting your food and breathing as well. Most of the time we're not thinking about breathing, we're just breathing. So with that knowledge, that we know that it must be critical for us to have regulated nervous systems so that our bodies can be regulated, our bodies can be healthy, and that we can be emitting a vibration that is aligned with the outcomes that we want. We are constantly emitting a vibration at all times, and you can think of yourself as a tuning fork. I love the tuning fork analogy. If there's two tuning forks in a room and they're on the same frequency, when you strike the first one, the other one automatically starts to reflect that back. That's resonance. It automatically starts to get that frequency going, and it'll actually be able to even sustain itself for a certain period of time, even when this one has stopped. You also see this with instruments. If you've ever been in orchestra or any type of musical class. When I was younger, I used to play the violin, and when we were all tuning our violins on one end of the room, when we would stop, we could still hear the instrument across the room playing that same frequency back. Of course, it eventually stopped because we stopped, but because that frequency matched the tune that we were all playing on our instruments, it continued and immediately started to reflect it back. When you start to vibrate at a frequency of gratitude and safety and abundance, that is immediately reflected back to you. Just because we cannot see it doesn't mean it is not there. There's a great video that I saw on TikTok that if I find it again, I will link it in the description. All the information, everything you desire already exists. Just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it's not there. Dogs smell things that we cannot smell all the time. Other animals hear and see and experience things that we are not able to experience all the time. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means we are not able to see it, or we are not able to hear it. There are animals that navigate their way around the world, like some sea turtles, using the Earth's magnetic field. We may not be able to consciously tap into that, but they are. But because we don't see or hear things, then it can make us feel like it's not there. The information is all already there. There just needs to be a receiver to receive the information. The guy in the video gave an example of how his friend was losing his hearing, and so he was unable to hear higher frequencies. So the two of them were in the same room, but the guy was able to hear what that sound was and how loud it was or whatever, but his friend did not hear it because he was not able to receive that sound. He was not able to hear those higher frequencies. So to his friend, it simply doesn't exist. Oh, the timer's not going off. There's something wrong with my appliance. No, the timer's going off. You just can't hear it, so you perceive it as not there. You are experiencing resonance. When you put out a certain frequency, it is absolutely being reflected back to you as quickly as possible. Things are shifting immediately in your life. You just aren't able to see it immediately, so it gives you the impression that it's not there. With all of that being said, if there was one feeling I would recommend to focus on in order to help regulate yourself and your bodies and call in all of your desires, is focus on the feeling of safety. That is what your body is trying to achieve 9 times out of 10. When you're ever feeling anxious or your sympathetic nervous system is ever activated, your body is simply unsure if it is safe. Is this back pain going to go on forever? Is me missing this light going to make me late and I'm going to lose my job? And then I lose my job, I lose my money, and then I lose my money, and then I'm homeless. It's always a fear of something that is going to be removed, taken, exposed, or anything of that nature. So I have 3 tips to help assist with activating your parasympathetic nervous system and allowing you to feel more safe in your day-to-day life. 1, starting with awareness. Everything always starts with awareness, but having awareness through the lens of curiosity and not through the lens of anxiety and self-fixing. Noticing when your body is changing states, noticing when your breath is getting a little unusual or your heartbeat is increasing a little bit, and approaching that with curiosity and compassion. When you notice that your sympathetic nervous system is starting to activate, one thing I like to do is pull on my earlobes. There's a lot of nerve endings in the ears that are connected to the vagus nerve, which activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So when I pull on my earlobes, that helps to immediately calm my body down, even if it's subtle, and allows me to start whatever next regulating practices that I decide to in that moment. You can graze the side of your neck, you can feel around the cartilage of your ear, you can begin doing EFT tapping. These are all great options for helping to down-regulate your nervous system quickly and in the moment. The third thing I want to bring up is breath work. Breath work allows you to instantly tap into your nervous system and the state of being in fight or flight or rest and digest. So if you're in a moment where you're feeling that sympathetic activation and you want to calm yourself down, breathing in and out through the nose as slowly as possible is a great option for resetting yourself. It almost feels like time is going by slower and gives you time to think. Even if you hold your breath, you can see how slow it feels like time is going by. And I love to hold my breath to stop my thoughts temporarily, where I'll have a short period of no thoughts. These 3 things, starting with awareness, being aware of the state you are in, then pulling on your earlobes, caressing your earlobes or neck, and doing EFT tapping is a great way to tap in and soothe your body. And then breath work is a perfect way to activate that parasympathetic nervous system very quickly and tell your body it is safe. I deep dive into these topics in great detail in my digital guidebook, The Body Never Lies, helping others become emotionally regulated and go from being reactive to regulated themselves. I've always had intense emotions my entire life, and I consolidated some of the best and most important things I've learned along my journey into a guidebook so I can share with others. If you're interested in that, that will be in the description, and you can also find it here on HellaRegulation.com. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I love hearing feedback from you all. And I'll see you next time, girl.